Welcome in. It's the Second Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there, Greg DuCharme. Greg, happy Saturday evening, my friend.
Yes, we haven't gotten together on a Saturday in quite some time, and I guess since probably the Ryder Cup. It doesn't happen often, but we got a 54-hole cut here on the PGA Tour this week.
Yeah, it made sense to do it. We were talking about hopping on last night, and it would have been weird deciphering, well, here's the leaderboard, but we still got these guys who have to play this course and those guys who've got to play that course. But now it feels like a proper tournament because the first three legs of this thing are done, Greg. Everybody has had a chance to play the Nicklaus Tournament course, La Quinta, and of course the stadium course at PGA West. So we're all square with 18 to go. Your just initial takeaways of this event through 54.
Oh, golf's the best. It's just so cool. You think about a tournament like this, and it's not a signature event. It may not have all the marquee names. Obviously, you have Scottie Scheffler, but it doesn't necessarily have all the groupings. And we get this will be one of the stories of the year. We are looking at history being made tomorrow from two of the three players in the final group. Pretty significant history. So I just think it's so cool. And then you have someone like Siwoo Kim who can spoil all the fun, and he's so fun. Well, you just love Siwoo. And then at the same time, there may be 23 players who could win tomorrow. Scottie probably poses a problem for that, but on my math, it's like 15 or 20 players that can win tomorrow.
11 under was the cut line. So you had to shoot 11 under across those three courses to make your way into the final 18. They'll go off split tees on Sunday at the stadium course, everybody on the same track. And there's a lot to get caught up on, Greg, because as you can imagine with the scoring, we've seen a lot of different runs. We've seen Nico Echeverria make a run and fall back. We've seen Jacob Bridgman make a run and fall back. Ben Griffin make a run and fall back. It's just so hard. Any mistake, you're losing 8 spots on the leaderboard. Pars almost feel like mistakes in many situations. It's just full throttle from Thursday morning throughout the entirety of the event.
Yes, and I'm very curious to see how that plays out on Sunday, because sometimes when you get in these kind of shootout events, like Siwoo Kim's at 22 under par through 3 rounds. Just incredible scoring so far, and he's got a 1-shot lead. It's ridiculous. But what happens when you get the Sunday pressure, final round pressure on Sunday? And the guys near the top will probably feel that to some degree. I don't know if Scottie will, but if Blades and Siwoo get off to a slow start, that may affect Scottie and his strategy. You might feel like, it's probably not going to, but you get what I'm saying. Then you get the chasers who are in that full throttle mode. So I'm very curious to see how the final group handles that and what their strategy is heading into tomorrow. Also on a stadium course that's much more difficult than Nicklaus Tournament and La Quinta. There are mistakes to be made at the stadium course. There are plenty of birdies too, but you can make mistakes. So I can't wait to see what happens.
We're looking at the leaderboard right now, and let's start with the final group. That's where a lot of the storylines have come this week. It is likely where the winner is going to come from if you ask our friends in the desert, but there's other names I want to get to because I'll save that for a second. Let's start with Blades Brown here. 67 on Thursday, 60 with a putt for 59 on Friday that goes begging, and a 68 on Saturday to complete that 21 under par. There's a lot of angles here. First off, Greg, Blades played in a Wednesday. Wait, sorry, let me get this right. A Sunday to Wednesday Corn Ferry Tour event. Flew Wednesday night from the Bahamas, got into Palm Springs Wednesday night, and immediately started this golf tournament. So this is 8 straight days of competitive golf for an 18-year-old. So I'm not worried about his stamina, and he's certainly making the most of it right now.
If it weren't for the Myrtle Beach One Flight Classic last year, I don't know if this would have been possible. Because he earned, correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, he earned a voucher to basically get like 8 miles with one flight. So he flew private from the Bahamas to the Amex, like the day before your tournament starts. He's 18 years old. He did play the Amex last year, but no practice rounds not on all 3 courses, not on any of them. And you got to wake up on Thursday morning and go get after it with another day. So it's 8 consecutive days. Tomorrow will be the 8th with a flight in the middle. It's just incredible. And what you saw in today's round was some, I think the stadium course had some more teeth today. It was a little tougher. The greens were firm. He hit it in the water at number 7, made bogey, but boy, did he rectify any earlier mistakes with that finish, going birdie, birdie, birdie to close this out and get into the final group.
We have a scorecard from yesterday from this 60, which is absolutely bonkers. This looks like video game stuff because he started on number 10. So he started birdie, eagle, birdie, 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 birdie. He was 8 under through his first 7 holes. And then he really stunk up the place with 3 straight pars on the turn before having a really, really good I mean, he was probably, when he was on the 7th tee, which was his 16th hole of the day, he was probably a favorite to shoot 59. He's got the par 5. He's 8's not an easy hole, but 9 is quite easy. He was a absolute favorite to break 60. Didn't happen for him.
Yeah, 7. To shoot 60 with a 5 on the card is incredible. And I'm looking at that card as you go through, reading off the scores relative to par. He made 2 4s in 9 holes. Everything else was a 3 or a 2. 2 4s. That's ridiculous. In that 28, he puts up a 5 on the back 9, 3 4s on the back 9, unfortunately. But the 5 is the killer. And ultimately, you have 8 feet for 59. That is the shot into 9. His 18th hole yesterday was incredible, and I thought for sure he was going to do it. Would have been the 15th player to make that happen, by far the youngest. Now he's got an opportunity to be the 2nd youngest winner ever on the PGA Tour. You know who the first is?
I saw it. Okay, I can't remember his name, but it was like 1931 or something.
Yes. Yes, it was 1931. It was the 1931 Michigan Open.
Yeah, sure.
And it was Charles, I believe it's Coxis. Charles Coxis. He won the 1931 Michigan Open at 18 years, 6 months, 9 days. Only 18-year-old to win. Blades could be the 2nd, which is really what do you think the 1931 Michigan Open was like?
I'm going to say the field was pretty weak.
Yeah, that's the Michigan Open now is like a state open. It's not a PGA Tour event. It's a nice state open. It probably has I don't know. I don't even want to speculate on the purse size, but this would be much more impressive than what Charles did back in 1931.
The reigning Michigan Open winner, his name is Otto Black. I don't know anything about him because he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. I recognize a handful of other Michigan Open winners. Ryan Brehm won it in 2014.
Oh,
I couldn't find the purse that quickly, but
he went to Michigan State. That makes sense.
That does make sense. Here, the other thing is this, Greg, and I think this is interesting. If you want to feel old, Blaze Brown was born in 2007, which is jarring.
Yeah.
And also, he's a professional, right? He is not 18 years old. He's a pro. I actually don't think he finished high school because I think he's still taking some tests to get his GED. But he just said, listen, I'm not going to college. I'm turning pro right now. I'm good enough and I'm going after it.
He did it at 17 and he was good enough. He finished tied 2nd in a Korn Ferry Tour event last year. I believe it was the Veritex Bank, where he shot 61 in the first round. He became the youngest player to shoot 61 on the Korn Ferry Tour or the PGA Tour in that event. And he was 17, but it earned him temporary conditional status. And then he earned full status for this year. So he has full Korn Ferry Tour status. And kind of like Michael Brennan from earlier this year or Nick Dunlap from 2 years ago, he can just leapfrog all of that tomorrow with a win.
Yeah.
Right, with 2-year exemption, all the signature events with a win. It's massive.
This is one of those where like solo second, solo third would go a very long way. Don't go out there and shoot a 72 and drop to T11, right? And like that would be bad. He might win. It would be great, but every position matters a hell of a lot for Blades Brown.
Yes, and top 10. You're right on top. T11 doesn't get you in the Farmers next week. Top 10 finish does, and you think, well, you're in second, you're going to finish in the top 10, but the top tied 10th right now is 17 under. That's just 4 shots back. Or you drop a couple shots, you will very quickly get run over. I mean, think about, do you remember who was leading this tournament after day one? It was Pearson Coody and Minwoo Lee.
Oh, Minwoo Lee, yeah.
Where's Minwoo? Pearson Coody's at 15 under. He played great today. Minwoo's at 14 under.
Yeah.
Those guys dropped. They plummeted yesterday. Fortunately, they played better today. So it can happen quickly. You got to go make some birdies. Siwoo
Kim is where we'll go next here. Statistically speaking, Siwoo Kim's been the best player this week, and he's in first. If you look at the scoring averages from every day and take the strokes gained, yada, 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 very nerdy stuff. Siwoo Kim has been the best player across all 3 courses for this week with rounds of 63, 65, and 66. He was a very popular one and done selection, Greg. He was very popular in fantasy formats. This is a place he's had a lot of great success. He is living up to that hype. He's going to have to be in the final group with a 18-year-old and with Scottie Scheffler tomorrow.
I can't believe I didn't pick him in one and done. I am kicking myself.
You made the case, and I said we should just pick him.
Yes, I remember. You said I think I should have picked Siwoo.
Yeah.
That case is coming to fruition, by the way. The case is he is striping it right now. Right? Last week he gained 10.75 strokes ball striking. He's carried it into this week clearly. But when he comes here, for some reason at the stadium course, he knows how to putt. It rarely happens this way. But 5 of the 7 times he's played here, he's gained over 2.5 strokes putting. And that's just on the stadium course.
Right.
Right. That's like if every event was here, he'd be one of the top putters on the PGA Tour. Incredible stuff. Now, he did gain strokes putting yesterday on the stadium course, although marginally. But he's got 77 putts right now. There's only 2 players, Tom Hoagie and I forget who else.
You never do that. Greg is the sharp. He is sharp. He has his notes written down on paper in front of him. He's always got them. That is unbelievable.
Bridgman.
Once in a Halley's Comet type of situation we just saw from Greg DuCharme.
Yeah, it's Bridgman. Hoagie and Bridgman have 76 putts. They're both in the top 10. Siwoo's got 77. But it's Siwoo. He was 161st on tour in strokes gained putting last year.
He is still a painful watch. I mean, because he's been in featured groups all week, and he was last week too. So it is a painful watch on the green.
Missed a 4-footer today.
It's bad. And he kind of got off to a slow start. He was playing La Quinta. He was the guy who had a really good chance to go low. He didn't take advantage of either of the first 2 par 5s. Now he then will do the polar opposite and will take on every pin and hit these unbelievable shots that no one else is even thinking about doing. It is such a fun watch going out there and tracking every shot that Siwoo hits, because you're going to see things that nobody else in the field can do, good and bad.
Yeah, probably like number 11 tomorrow. You'll see a driver off the deck. He's not afraid of that.
There is a story. I heard this story. Believe it or not, told from Justin Thomas to Tiger Woods as they were waiting on a tee box at Riviera. There was a backup. And the story goes like this. So Siwoo's playing in some event, and, he tees his ball up. He addresses it. He's getting ready to pull the trigger with the driver. Accidentally knocks the ball off the tee. Okay. Everybody you play with, the joke is, oh, that's one.
Right.
Yeah. You pick it up, you put it back on the tee. Nope. It's no big deal. It's not a penalty. It's nothing. Siwoo just takes a mini step and lets it fly and hits it driver off the deck in a tournament round instead of re-teeing it to get the, he is an absolute lunatic.
He is a maniac. And I think that's why he doesn't use the long putter. Like, he putts better with the long putter. It's so clear.
Yes.
But he thinks it's like a cheater putter.
Yeah, he's like, nah, it's just, I would rather be bad and use like a normal putter than use the cheating.
I don't want to use the long putter. But you're better with it. I don't want it.
Doesn't matter.
Siwoo, you should be winning these things. He's got a legitimate shot at it tomorrow. He's going to be tough to track down, even for Scheffler.
Yeah, he's been great. So four PGA Tour victories for Siwoo. The Players Championship, obviously the crown jewel there. He's 0 for 3 in playoffs. Don't get yourself into a playoff, Siwoo. He's got a one-shot lead going into that final round. The third man in that final group, and boy, oh boy, did he get himself into the final group, is Scottie Scheffler. 63, 64, and then a 68 today on the Stadium course where he made 2 bogeys. But let's just start on his final hole of the day, Greg. Probably has the biggest miss of his week. He gets himself in like a really awkward spot, still pin high, but kind of an awkward spot. Green side, he hits a chip that, rolls past the hole, rolls out to 25 feet. And this putt is the difference between him playing in the final group or one of Eric Cole or Wyndham Clark, whoever got in first, playing in the final group. And of course, Scottie buries the 25-footer to save par. And now he's going to be able to look Siwoo and Blades Brown right in the eyes all day tomorrow.
He's just so good. I was wondering on that last chip that he hit, if the chip he hit on 13 affected him. Because if you remember, 13 was somewhat similar of a situation where he had to land it short of the green and it didn't get to the green. This one on 18, he kind of steamed it through. It landed short of the green, but then got on and went blazing 25 feet past. But he made it and gave us such a cool, what's becoming iconic Scottie mini fist pump, which he loves to do on Saturdays. My favorite.
Exclusively on Saturdays.
But I thought there were a couple of really interesting things here in this 68. The wedge play from Scottie was not sharp. Number 2, he had 74 yards. He hit it to 36 feet. Number 7 from 76 yards, hit it to 30 feet. He made that one. Number 12, 72 yards, hit it to 28 feet. And on 14 from 91 yards, he hit it to 27 feet. His average last year from 50 to 125 was 15 feet 4 inches. From 75 to 100, it was 15 feet. From 50 to 75, it was 13 feet. So those were uncharacteristic wedge shots from Scottie, all in the same round. But at the same time, coming down the stretch, he hits the right shot on 17, hit a awesome shot into 16, and had a great look for eagle. Those were some really good long irons as well. So, the scary thing for everybody else is this was not Scottie's best.
It really wasn't. I thought that what you pointed out, the wedge play, was particularly where he struggled. I look at these results and I do it, 5 times a week or whatever, because he's the profile I look at the most. And it's just a joke. I mean, he has not finished outside the top 10 since the Players. That was in March. We're coming up on the 1 year. He might go an entire year without finishing outside the top 10.
it's, we've had this conversation. Last year, we got into this conversation when I continually had him on my outright card. And you really do that at 3-1? It's like, well, he wins half the time. And what's fascinating is he really does win. Like, if you look at 2024, when he switched to the mallet putter, he won 7 of his next 14 events. Not even including the Olympics. Then he hurts his hand. It also doesn't include the Hero. Hurts his hand, has to have surgery. Once he gets healthy from that, last year he went 6 out of 12. Scottie, healthy with the right putter in his hand and the right grip, is like a 50% win rate guy. Now, he's never won this early.
He's won 3 of his last 6. He's won 3 of his last 6. He's never won this early. This would be 4 of 7 if he gets the job done. He is the favorite. He's about even money to win this golf tournament, according to our friends in the desert. I think we made the case earlier, maybe at the end of last year. There is still some Scottie Scheffler improvement to be made.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But he's gotten better every year. Our friend Kyle Porter has been on Twitter lately talking about this a lot. And for him to improve and separate himself the way that he has is so impressive to me. To go in an event like this and compete and lead is so hard to do. You have to make so many putts. This is like not the ideal event for him. It's a season opener, see where the game is. It's a gauge because there's no win. It's not the ideal event for him to win. But he just might.
I think he's gonna break. I think he's gonna break Tiger's consecutive weeks at number 1 record, which
about halfway there,
which is an unfathomable record to break. I mean, that was if 5 years ago you would have said, what are some of the most unbreakable records? Obviously 82 wins and 15 major championships, total weeks at number 1, but like consecutive weeks at number 1 would have been very, very high on the list. And
yeah,
halfway there.
Yeah. And separated from Rory.
And right. And he has built such a cushion. Like, he doesn't need to play this good to be the number 1 player in the world. He can just win like twice a year. And he doesn't need to win 6 times a year.
No, because if he's not winning 6 times a year, no one else will.
Right.
That's how this works. There isn't. I mean, who knows? Maybe Blades Brown turns into that, but there isn't another dominant player, especially when you consider Rory and the comments he's made, where he's just kind of focusing on events he wants to focus on. Like, catching Scottie's not Rory's goal. So Rory like almost looks at this point of his career as the tail end. And it's not to say that his performance is going to decline, but he's going to be playing less. He's not going to be chasing down FedEx Cup trophies. Like, that's where Scottie is in his career right now. That's what he's doing. And it's clearly not just a hot streak. It's going to last for a long time. So this is the other thing. 82 wins in 15 majors, like Tiger, seems so outlandish. But Tiger stopped winning so early.
Yeah.
Like, Scottie's a little behind with age. If he wins tomorrow, he'll be the second youngest to 20 wins.
Yeah.
Second fastest. He's behind Tiger in those if you do it by timeline. But it seems like the end of his career could be 15 years longer.
Yeah, like the healthy years of his career seem to be much, much better suited for what Scottie could do.
So could those things
don't
be in play? I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
boy. Okay. Well,
Other than it's just a lot, but it's just what he does.
We've got time on those. Scottie Scheffler, one shot back. We'll get to the odds and we'll, prognosticate for tomorrow in a second. But there is a chase pack. 2 at 20 under. That's Eric Cole and Wyndham Clark. Greg, I will tip my cap to you. I owe you a golf clap. I laughed you out of the room on Tuesday when you said, I think Eric Cole might be able to have a good week at the American Express. And I said, oh, Eric Cole, that guy stinks. He's short off the tee. He's inaccurate off the tee. He can't really putt anymore. I don't know where his game is at. And sure enough, 64, 66, 66 around the 3 courses this week. Still an outside shot, 17-1 according to Vegas, but could also play spoiler out of the penultimate group.
Yes, he's definitely putting a lot better this week. I know, he putted great at the stadium yesterday, and we don't have stats, but only 24 putts in this round today. Bogey free again. It just seems to suit his game because he's short and crooked. There aren't many golf courses where that works, but this one it does. You get you miss a fairway as long as you get a reasonably flat lie, which you do because there's so many hills, but the ball will roll through the rough to the bottom of the hills.
Yeah, it all settles in the same spots anyway.
Because if the rough was real thick Bermuda, it would be, or even just normal like green Bermuda, it would be very hard because you would get crazy lies when you miss fairways.
Everything waist high shots or balls 2 feet below your feet.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
You don't get that. It rolls to the bottom. So I think it just fits his game perfectly, and he's made the putts to match.
He is. I'm looking at this quickly, but I believe I'm correct here. I am. He's the only bogey-free man this week. Bud Cauley's made 2 doubles, and Ludwig made a double before he WD'd. And then a couple guys have 1 bogey, Siwoo and Blades Brown, but Eric Cole is the only bogey-free player in the field this week.
It'd be pretty cool to go bogey-free for 72 holes.
And win, last guy to do it.
And win. See, I think the last person to do it that I remember is, I want to say Scott Piercy, but he did not win. And that was at Trinity. That was at the Byron Nelson at Trinity Forest. Who went bogey? Was it JT Poston?
That's correct. That's why you are the man. I actually don't know if anybody has done it since then, but he definitely did it. I don't know if anybody's done it since.
Yeah, it's a sweet thing.
Yeah,
like I always wanted to play a bogey free round.
I do it all the time, just doubles, baby.
I have played 1 bogey free round in my life.
You? Oh
yes.
God.
Oh, I made 1 birdie
and
17 pars.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't play golf that way.
That's good, clean living.
That's that is. Long time ago.
Throw that big board back up here, Mina. Yeah, we've got the big board. We've got everybody here. I mean, there's a plethora of names. Patrick Cantlay was also another popular option. Mina picked him in the her main one and done this week. So did I. He is currently in a tie for 10th. Ben Griffin struggled a little bit today, 69. That was his worst round of the week. But anything else jump out off of this board at you?
I think Wyndham Clark's fascinating. I think Tom Hoge is fast. Tom Hoge has the 4th best on your site. If you look at your course horse section from 2020 to now, Tom Hoge has the 4th best course history here. Problem is it's Cantlay, Scheffler, and Burns who are ahead of him, who are all on this list as well. So I think that combination, guys that play really well at the stadium course, are trailing and in the mix. I think Sam Burns is probably just a hair too far back. Cantlay is not. Like he's still your call on Cantlay. It's the perfect time to play him. This could pay off nicely.
I hope he goes out tomorrow and makes a couple putts early and at least at least works his way up the board. So Cantlay's 5 back. So Siwoo's at 22. Both Blades Brown and Scottie Scheffler are 21 under. Eric Cole, Wyndham Clark at 20. Then you get 3 golfers at 19. That's Putnam, Matt McCarty, Tom Hoagie, and then JT Poston all alone at 18 under. As you can imagine, it's about even money, plus 105. Scottie Scheffler's the favorite. Siwoo Kim is 2-1. Blades Brown is 8-1. And then the next closest golfer after that is Wyndham Clark at 11-1. You, Greg, seem to think, I think you think more guys are live than I think are live.
Well, if you removed Scottie Scheffler, how many would you think are live?
I would probably say down to Poston.
Yeah.
But I think you'd go down to, I don't know, 17.
Boshu.
Would you? 16?
All right. So this is how I reason my way through this. And Scheffler, of course, is a huge caveat here.
Yeah,
so
let's
just
take him out
understand that.
Yeah.
22 under is your lead. That's Siwoo Kim.
Mm-hmm.
How many par 5s are there? There's 4.
4.
So let's say that Siwoo goes and shoots 68. Doesn't mean he's going to birdie the 4 par 5s. It just means, 68 would be like a very reasonable round to go play. That gets him to 26. Is 10 under out there on the stadium course? Probably not. I would probably go with the 17s, which would be 9 under. That would be the best round in the last 10 years to win, 63. There have been 64s in the final round to win.
Didn't Cantlay shoot a 60 in the final round but not win?
Was that here?
60 at the South I want to call it the South
Stadium.
Course. At the stadium course to fall short of Siwoo, I thought it was.
That might be. In 2021, Siwoo shot 64 that day.
I think he just held off a charging if my memory serves me, I believe is what happened that day.
That makes a lot of sense. So I think there's been Jason Day shot 63 here this week already.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be much wind. I think 9 under is in the cards, which brings the 17s into play. I think the 16s, you just have like Henley and you have Griffin and you have Burns, who are interesting names, but they're probably too far back. So I think the 17s. But now you got Scheffler, which means there's really like one guy live.
Right. His name's Scottie Scheffler. Look into your crystal ball. And when we do this show, same time tomorrow, are we crowning the guy who was the most popular in one and done? Are we crowning an 18-year-old kid, one of the youngest to ever do it? Are we crowning Scottie Scheffler's lifetime PGA Tour membership, or are we crowning some dark horse? Who are we putting on the thumbnail tomorrow?
I got to think Scottie Scheffler. I think he left a lot out there today. I think there's a lot more juice for him to squeeze. So I think it's going to be really hard for others to catch him. And it's also his name. I'm fascinated by this. If this were the leaderboard at the Memorial and you took the scores away, I would think that Scottie's going to win by 5. Trailing 1 going into the last round, he wins by 5 because he starts to affect everybody else on the leaderboard. I don't know if that's going to be the case here this week. Like, could Sam Stevens go shoot 62, like playing in his own world, thinking Scottie's up there, I'm just going to go shoot 62, and then all of a sudden it's like a lot for Scottie to handle and catch. I could see something like that happening. So it's not as sure a thing as it will be late in other events later on this year, if that makes sense.
Do the amateurs come back tomorrow?
No.
They're done.
They're done. So you got threesomes, I believe split tees.
It is split tees. There was I think 75, 76 guys got through.
Yeah.
Miracle. So PGA Tour Live does this thing where they try not to explicitly show the amateurs. You know what I mean? They won't like,
Yeah.
the cameras
Show
are
him hitting a shot.
they're sitting, but they won't show the shot. But you sometimes, a lot of times you catch it because like they're showing Scottie and the camera's, zoomed out and you just see this ball just pew, like whip across the green at warp speed and like, oh God, here we go again. It's just like, I let me see the shots. You have the camera there. Show me the AM shots. I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, they used to do that at Pebble Beach. I think it'd be funny to catch some specific ones, but I'm glad they don't highlight it too much. But I'm very curious to see how the mood changes. Like Blades Brown has been very happy this week.
Him and David Ford was like his hype man.
Yes, they are. They have been psyched.
Yeah,
and I get it. There's no. I have no issue with that. I love what I've been seeing. It's been so fun to watch. But how does that change tomorrow?
Yeah,
there's no amateurs. You're not showing off to AMs.
Going to be your hype man, like David Ford was.
Oh, Scotty's not going to blink. I want to know how that affects, if at all, Blades Brown. I don't think it's going to affect Siwoo.
No, nothing affects him. He's the best.
Yeah, is it? He's just if his ball falls off a tee, he's just going to hit it anyway.
I hope he does something. I hope he does something like crazy tomorrow. Like I don't even know I don't even know, but he's liable to do anything. I just hope he does something weird.
I hope he doesn't break his putter or something.
I hope he does. And then I hope he wins putting with his wedge for 9. Yeah,
maybe he breaks his putter and then but he does it on the practice green, and then the only backup he has is the broomstick. And he wins by 5. And then
he ceremoniously snaps the broomstick because he doesn't want to use it, and he plays with his putter or he plays with his wedge.
and wins by 5.
They're like, see, well, you can replace that. You haven't even teed off yet. He's like, I'm good. I'm fine.
I only have my broomstick, and I will not use that.
All right, it'll be a fun day. A lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of fun golf coming up. We're gonna get probably a pretty sick result one way or another, and we will be here same time tomorrow when it's all said and done to figure out what has happened. Big thanks, producer Mina. She does all the hard work behind the scenes. That's Greg DuCharme. I'm Rick Gehman. This has been The Second Cut. We'll see you Sunday.